Part 1 of the Buzzbubble interview with Peter Shankman. Now back to our host, Kevin Kelly, on the Buzzbubble.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Buzzbubble. Season 3, our first sit-down interview today. We're here in New York City on 42nd Street here to interview Peter Shankman, the new media guru, social media genius. If you don't know him, you should. If you don't know him, you're not in the social media space. So at Peter Shankman. Find it, live it, love it. We're going to get into his brain, find out some wonderful gems of how we enhance our social media life. Also, fantastic author. 2 fantastic books and another one on the way. Can we do that? Got to get that one. That is some fantastic advice for PR and customer service. New rules of the social media world. This guy's genius. Fantastic stuff. So we're going to head up, chat with Peter, climb into the brain of Peter Shankman right now. Let's go. All right, great. Well, Peter, thanks so much for climbing into the Buzzbubble today. I really appreciate you making some time. I was thinking to go through your how you got here by maybe starting it with a story. What was your first job, and
Sure.
So how'd you end up here from there?
Yeah, I was in grad school. I was studying fashion and portrait photography. It was a spectacular way to meet women. And with 18 credits to go, I lost my financial aid. The government sent me a letter. Your parents make too much money. We're taking away your financial aid. So I sent the government a letter. I said, my parents do make too much money, and they keep it. And the government didn't buy that. And I moved back home. I was in Santa Barbara, California. I moved back home to New York. And I was hanging out in the Melrose Place TV gossip chat room on AOL back in the early 90s. And some of the chat rooms said, you know, my company's trying to build a newsroom. When you submit your resume, and I had no experience. And 2 weeks later, I was hired as one of the founding editors of America Online News.
Wow. Okay.
Pretty ridiculous.
That is.
It's great. Spectacular. It was great. The experience I got from that, where no one has any idea what they're doing, and you just go and you learn.
Yeah, right.
You know, you trial by fire. It's the best way to learn in the world.
I mean, that's kind of where we are now because there is no roadmap for what's going on. So,
Exactly.
you know, we do a lot of that in our agency. We get young people in, we throw them,
Yeah.
hey, figure this
Figure it
out.
Exactly.
One of your recent blogs was about waking up early,
Yeah.
and great blog post. We'll post the URL so you can find it. What's one of the most important tips, and do you still follow that regimen?
I do. I try to get up as early as possible. It's funny. I just today started training for the next Ironman that I'm doing in August, and you know, it's funny. About 2 months ago, Serta, the bed company, is a fan of my blog, and they saw me and they said, "We want to send you a new bed. We know you're training, and so we're going to send you this ridiculously comfortable bed, which makes it that much harder to follow my rules of getting up at like 4:35 in the morning." But yeah,
you do say to get out.
Still
That's
doing
one of your
it.
rules.
Out of the bed, you know, and it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, okay, I'm up, you know, and you force yourself into the bedroom. And having a cat who's at 3:45 decides they're hungry helps. But so yeah, I mean, the best rule, I keep a giant glass of water, ridiculously large glass of water by the bed, and the first thing I do before the alarm's even off, I just chug it, and really wakes you up. It
Really
rejuvenates your cells, gets rid of all the you know, you haven't drank anything in like what, 8 hours or something.
Right.
And you're really dehydrated.
I always
all that. Greatest thing in the world. Not drinking helps tremendously. Also, quit drinking a while ago, and that just life changing.
Yeah, I bet. Speaking of dehydration,
I mean, look, you know, there's a part of me that still misses that, but on the flip side, you know, you're up 5:30 in the morning, you're like, hey, I'm up. What's
a lot
it's not
easier.
having a headache. Wow, this is awesome. You know, so it's pretty cool.
a lot of motivation to do that. Well, good. One of the things you've been credited with is reinventing networking. It's an art, and where does that art sit today? And
I just
how'd you
believe
get that moniker?
The biggest problem with the social media networks out there is people believe that's how they can network, and they've sort of forgotten the original networking, which is simply talking to someone.
Right.
You know, the person I pity the most is the guy on the plane next to me. I'm going to know everything about him by the time we land. And I think the biggest problem that people face right today is that they believe networking to be all about, here's who I am. You know, this is how awesome I am, and this is what I do. And you know, I tend to just listen. I tend to ask people what do they do, and
Right.
It's pretty amazing how if you just listen to people and let them talk for a few minutes, what you can learn about them that you can then apply. Oh, you do this. Well, you know, I did that at one point. Or I have friends that do this. Let me connect you.
Right.
And you become that connector and that person who makes everything happen. It's pretty awesome.
That is a way to do it. You know, just listen to them and say, oh, you know, this is what I could do for you, maybe because of all this thing, these things that I know about you.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned being on a plane. One of the things you do on your site is say, you know, here's where I am. Here's where Peter is today. Look me up. Send me an email. Maybe we'll have a cup of coffee. Do people do it? And what's one of the oddest things that's happened at that cup of coffee?
I have at least one cup of coffee a day with someone, no matter what city I'm in. You know, always take the first meeting. I'm just such a believer in taking the first meeting.
Absolutely the same here.
I've gotten work out of it. I've gotten clients out of it. I've gotten sent to other countries from it. I mean, it is It is amazing what you can do. People have taken me to. I was in Chicago, I think, and I said, "Hey, we'll meet at this frozen yogurt place that opens early." And at like 10 a.m., I showed up at this frozen yogurt place, and like 75 people showed up. And frozen yogurt, this poor guy with this 19-year-old kid working the thing, and he's just like, "We have four people here before noon. I don't know what's going on." It's hysterical. So. I just, why not? Meet new people.
Yeah.
That's how networking happens.
Absolutely. I love taking a meeting. People will call and we have an opening. No, but come on in anyway. Because that's the way it happens with us. We don't need you today, and then Thursday we need somebody. It's a wonderful world at this time because of that. You were just saying how, before we got started, how there's a couple different worlds of social media, and there's a lot of, you work with big brands, you do, and I
work with small mom and pops too. I mean, I'm the company that acquired Harrow, Vocus. I'm their small business evangelist, so I work with small business all the time. But I think I know where you're going with this.
Well, you take it seriously. And so many clients, look at us and go, well, where's the real ROI? Where's, it's wonderful we're reaching, which is great.
But exactly the ROI is. The ROI is generating revenue. I see all these people give talk. We're going to build buzz and create brands and give you 500 followers, and what the hell is that going to do for you? If you're not tying that into generating revenue, you're doing it wrong. And I know that I'm speaking against the gospel. It is the holy church of social media. But you know what? Hey, if you're not making money from this crap, what the hell are you wasting your time for?
Right.
I've yet to find a brand that has done really, really, really well and never made a penny. At some point, you got to wake up and start making some money from this thing. So I'm a believer that you're going to do this well. Find a way to tie this back to revenue. You have to.
Well, you came from that world. Came from PR, and you always had to convince PR.
AOL, you had one job at AOL was to keep users online as long as possible. Because back in the 90s, I know some of you
by the minute.
No idea what this was like.
I got the 2.0 disc.
It cost money, dude. All right, the internet was $2.95 an hour, and that's what you did. If you didn't have your members online, you didn't make money.
Right.
So your job was keep your users online as long as possible. That's what we had to do, and nothing's changed. You got to generate revenue.
Right, so keeping users on the line now is transposed to attention, time, and my brand in front of you for as long as possible.
But my brand in front of you so that you will act on it. Not so that you'll like me, but that you'll go out and buy my product.
Right.
Well, so, having an audience, I always say this, having an audience, I might have 5,000 people following me. I have 130,000 Twitter followers, and every day, not a day goes by where I don't realize that's a privilege. That's not a right. One of my favorite lines, it's a privilege to have an audience, not a right. It's exactly like wearing spandex. There are a lot of people in this world that don't have a privilege, or the right to wear spandex is very much a privilege. And the same thing with social media. You have an audience, and they're listening to you. They can go away anytime. Cater to them, give them what they want.
Do you have a specific example of how to get the likes and the attention to revenue?
Yeah, I mean, the easiest thing is focus on the customers you have. Everyone's like, if I reach 1,000 followers, my 1,000th follower will get a free whatever. People don't like you. People don't join. Free contests don't bring in new people. They bring in people that want to win free crap.
Yeah.
Okay, so focus on the customers you have. It's the equivalent of my finally getting a date with a really hot girl, and then while I'm at dinner looking at every other girl around her. Maybe she's better. I've been married about 9 weeks now, and I've married the hottest girl in the world, hands down. The most awesome, beautiful girl in the world. And I know that. And I spend my entire time focusing on her. Because I got it already. Focus on the audience you have. Build the audience you have. That will generate your revenue. New audience members will come based on the actions of your current audience. So if your current audience loves you, they'll do your PR for you. They'll tell everyone how great you are.
So it's two totally separate efforts. That's that getting the following and then remarketing to them.
Build your audience. Yeah, build your audience by posting interesting things that people want to retweet, that people want to follow, that people want to read. And once you do that, cater to the audience you have. I mean, the concept of building revenue is integral to any part of any social marketing campaign or marketing campaign as a whole that you're doing. I like to see companies, that build fans and brand and awareness and don't generate revenue. They're not here anymore.
Yeah, social media.
Imagine the
social
CEO
media shouldn't get a free pass for not generating revenue.
Pepsi, I just want to spend $100 million in advertising. We're going to need having people drink our soda. Please, it's never going to happen. If you focus on building the fans you have and the loyalty of the fans you have, give them offers. Hey, thank you for being our fan. Come down to the store tomorrow and 20% off everything. Whatever it is, make them become a part of it. That will drive revenue. Make them engage. Make them want to be there. I wear this triathlon shirt because, hey, 2 reasons. Hey, I did a triathlon. All right, cool. But also, it was a great race. I want to share that with people.
Right,
I'm the first one to tell everyone, hey, join this race. New York City Triathlon's a great race. I do it every year, and they treat me well. They treat me when I do it. I'm not the fastest person in the world. I mean, I'm sure you're shocked to find that out by looking at me. But I'm not the fastest person in the world. But when I finish the race, even though I'm like in the second third of the triathlon,
you finished the race.
I finished it. They still have they still have Power Milks and Muscle Milks and bagels for me.
You're rewarded just the same?
Yeah, they haven't run out. So that to me is huge, you know? I joke, I don't finish with the Kenyans, I finish with like guys named Ken. And I'm fine with that, you know?
And he's running it this year, so.
Yep.
That's it for part 1 of the Buzz Bubble with Peter Shankman. Tune in next week for part 2.
We took a garbage truck, bought it from some guys in Brooklyn, painted it Yoo-hoo colors, and drove around with a giant Nestle Quick bunny being crushed in the back. And took it all around the country and gave out free Yoo-hoo all around the country to all the different concerts all around the country. It was a blast.
Next week on the Buzz Bubble.